Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we're ready here with the third game of day 2 of DreamHack Masters Malmö.
Yeah.
It's Gambit versus NiP. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be sick, actually, I think. This is going to be a really good one, especially if we have, obviously, the forest that we had yesterday.
Yeah.
You get Ride locked in on top of that. That's like always when NiP's the most fun to watch. But I think this Gambit team is still pretty strong. They've got a lot of skill and talent on this roster.
When's the last time Adren had a bad game? Like one where he got like less than 25 kills. I'm not even sure. Like it just really feels like every game he's good.
Yeah, yesterday actually. He was 11 and 13 against Mouse Sports.
I set myself up tonight.
Yeah, that's a bit rough.
It's only because they were winning so much, wasn't it? That you never have to do it.
There's only so many kills to go around, right? I think Fitch had like 22 kills there, and I think it was Mo who had like 23 or 24. So can't blame the man too much. And he's also taken on that end-game leading role, which it's always a little bit worrying when like your star player, your most impactful player that you've had for a long time goes to that role.
Yes, it is. And we're live with the game, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and get all your friends invited, get everyone watching. There's a lot more Counter-Strike to come today, and it should be very interesting. Everyone is set on this game being very good.
Oh, look at Adren. Speaking of which, he's already aggressive. Fitch is going to get that opening kill. That's pushing towards B, and there's more aggression in A main. Adren isn't slowing down. He could catch Exist off as well. How much does he want to peek? Sees the nades going over. There it is. They've spotted him out, but he's got to fall away.
Bit of a fight going on in the middle as Mo has to fall back from the highway, and he's going to get double peeked. Forest with the return. Not bad at all. That leaves it in a 4-on-4 now. Exist spotting out even more players in main, so they're weirdly trapped there, Gambit. And the backup is quite far away. This could get a bit ugly, I think, for Dozier and Adren. Got to be careful they don't get completely stuck. And
Draken's position at top highway is getting so much information. He hears Adren run all the way back. Dozier's the only real defense at the A bomb site, and he's got 3 HP. Really, really tough spot. All that aggression from Gambit actually comes back to bite him because now they're completely out of position with no information. And NiP has some very, very advanced spots on the map. This needs to be a kill for Adren. He needs to secure this area, and he can't do it. And that's the closest rotation over towards Dozier to help him out.
3 health. 12 bullets and 4 people coming his way. He is the loner, though. Hobbit is going to be able to take down Forest. That was all the way in the middle. That just might help out a bit. And Dozier's actually just hiding. They might have forgot all about this position because they've already got the kill on Adren, and he was there earlier. Hobbit goes down eventually. That's Draken taking care of him, but 2 versus 3. Dozier. Is this the genius move that they've been needing? He's almost in the bomb site, and they're going to catch him just in time. Exist there with a kill, leaving Fitch, and he's got no chance either. Exist will take him down, and NiP to pick up the pistol. Yeah,
a little bit of an awkward round with how all of that aggression worked out, but at the end of the day, it's NiP who just, with those positions, making the right calls. I think the big thing is Dozier, yes, you can't really do much with that 3 HP, and the fact that he's forced to be so passive there, that's what allows, I think it was Rez who pushed up towards Truck and got that angle with a surprise peek as they were rotating over towards A. And Gambit just no information and no real ability to kind of get in a good position to stop that. So 1-0, and that's a nice shot from Draken. That's the scout down. I don't even know if it fired a shot. Mid-control for NiP, and they do it aggressively. He's going to go for more. Tough angle to hit, and Adren managed it with the CZ.
Gotta be careful they don't overcommit to this, because Hobbit is still by the sandbags, and they don't have a Molotov to clear that out like you normally would later on, so they could be walking into a pretty mean crossfire. And again, that CZ 75 is so good. Hobbit ends up dropping, and there's no one there. The smokes are nice in the middle just to make sure no one could help him out.
Yes, that was definitely nice, isolating him even without the Molotov. Pretty good stuff. 1 kill on Draken, though. I mean, if they can actually salvage that AK-47 in middle, or did someone pick that up from the NiP side of things? I didn't actually quite see it. But that'd be a good win if Gambit was able to get away with one of those.
I think they managed to.
Yeah, I think
they swapped it out with the UMP. Yep. So that's the only thing that they can get right now, Gambit, if they are willing to go and take a look at that.
Again, though, it's another situation where Gambit just doesn't have any information this round, right? So it just feels like this round's pretty much going to be over. That's nice from Forest. 1 more kill to deny even more. And the A-bomb site is going to be completely open when NiP eventually does get here.
Adren and Fitch on the other side. I mean, they've picked up, they still have the armor. They've got 2 CZs, and they've got the scout. So
save it.
The scoot.
Scoot? If you're Canadian, yeah. If you're Sadicist.
I like that. I think that's interesting. Yeah, so, I mean, pretty sort of slow rounds, easy rounds early on here. And I think Gambit are going to be pretty much fine with that. What did you have for the first map here? Because there was a bit of a split decision on the desk.
I've been waffling with this one all day. Yeah. I didn't really know where I wanted to go with it. I'll say NiP just because it's their map pick.
Yeah.
It is funny though, because when you think about it, you know, with this coaching change that allows Threat to have so much more input, the last time they had Threat come in for DreamHack Malmö last year was like the start of that run where they were incredible on cash, right? Where they were like the best team, hands away, undefeated on the cash for like 9 or 10 maps, I think it was, something around that. And then you go towards the E-League major qualifier and they had that disaster of a game against Vegas Squadron, so you've got both ends of the spectrum. But I got to imagine the NiP we saw yesterday on Nuke was so impressive with the way they approached the rounds and the way they approached the execute. So I just want to see more of that from NiP.
Yeah, I definitely do as well. And it seems like it's just been a curse for this team for a long time that their performance has been so, it seems at least from the outside, closely linked to whether or not Threat was available or not. And, you know, some of the time, I think he was in Japan, wasn't he, for a while, doing something. So then they didn't have him, and then there were some events where he
was finishing his degree or studying or something over there in Japan, so...
Obviously less important than Counter-Strike is what I'm trying to say. So
yeah, absolutely.
So that definitely, I think, had an impact on the team. And now that he's back again, and with the coaching role change that we keep talking about, now he can actually do a bit more. So maybe a good reason to pick NiP to do better, at least, at this tournament than they have been in the past. Draken coming in with a good kill with a MAC-10 and taking down Hobbit.
That's a good start. Some bonus money. They know Fitch is there as well. He's winning that with the USP. Still, you can't imagine they're going to get a whole lot done. And again, you still have the CZ and an armor on a Dren. You still have the Scout on Mo, but they haven't even really been able to get those into use in either of these rounds. So, not really a safe situation. Maybe for a Dren for the armor. The Scout, I guess, wouldn't be too big of an issue if you lose that.
No, I actually, in some ways, it's strange, right? Because it's a nice enough weapon, but if it was UMP, you could want to save it into the next round and just use that.
Yeah, I don't think the Scout, you can really get away with that, to be honest.
No, it's a huge risk, at least. You would definitely be risking a lot by doing that. Forest ends up going down. And that is a pretty easy third round here for NiP. That's to be expected. I'm not really worried at all for Gambit yet. I think it's way too soon to call, but... I mean, just very good rounds from NiP in the anti-ecos, really. But I mean, the last one, they only lost the one player, but they've done a good job of not really... You know, last time when they just walked out mid and they lose that player on the roof, they have plenty of players there to follow up with it and make sure not only is this death not in vain, but they actually gain mid control. Very cautious, you know, clearing sandbags, and that's the big thing in these ecos is you don't want to get so spread out that you're just losing a player with no ability to gain anything from it, and that's where you start to see those rounds collapse. NiP avoiding that here. Now, yeah, it's the question, does he keep the Scout? And I think he's going to. They stole a MAC-10 as well, so...
Surely not. Surely, Anders.
Keep both of them?
Fourth round with a MAC-10 and a Scout?
Just try and talk us through why that would be a questionable move. Did he buy it for someone else?
I think he's keeping it.
Waiting.
Okay, so they are going to keep it. I mean, the big thing here is it would be some sense of saving some money, but I think he actually dropped an M4 over to Hobbit, I would assume, so that he could get full nades. Only one kit on Mo, and that's the big thing. I mean, you have a little bit, obviously you're losing firepower, but it is just an economic decision, which, you know, it's tough to... It's easy to criticize because of the weapons, but at the same time, this is a map where if you see teams get into economic, if they lose control of their money, like this map just spirals out of control. So, big risk, could pay off though.
The way they used it is actually to go for a double peek into main where they didn't see anybody. Instead, Fitch is now over here alone with one flashbang, and he's going to get overrun, so no chance at all. Mo has to do a lot of work with the Scout for this decision to pay off, and even now, Doja's still just lingering back, so they're just looking for exits.
You have to save at this point if you're Gambit. You can't go for this. Mo has the only kit, and they're going to be blocked off by smokes. There's still plenty of utility because of how easy of a hit that was from NiP. This is quite nice from them. Hobbit's going to get a kill at that. No, they're already making the save call. This is kind of why this map can be so frustrating to play. I think this is a reason why a lot of teams kind of go away from it, is because a hit like that, it's just simple. It's just all 5 players walk towards B. You just execute with very minimal utility, and you get into the bomb site through your opponent's smoke. And once you get in towards B, because you only used maybe 1 to 2 smokes, a Molotov, and 2 flashbangs on the hit, you have so much to block off the choke points.
But so I would say, I think it's great. I love the sort of the quick double peek into main. But if Fitch is playing that part alone, I would say he needs like the grenades, right? He needs a smoke and a Molotov to buy time, and even more than that. I would say he needs to not stand all the way behind the box on the B-bomb side, because by the time he's on the radio calling to his teammates and saying, it's a B hit is when they're on the bomb side. Like that's just not enough time, right?
Well, I mean, that's part of the problem when NiP calls his tactic where they're just going through the smoke, right? Is, you know, you can never really see that coming. More aggression in A main from Gambit, some nades being thrown. Looks like they want to peek. There's the flashbang. Swinging wide, it's Get Right here, and he can't win that battle. They're going to get a second one. Exist falls also, so big advantage for Gambit, and nothing gained by NiP.
They even managed to do some damage onto Rez through the wall, so that's very aggressive. And that's actually Gambit doing the exact same thing. They leave Fitch alone in B, double peek into main, just like they did last time, and this time the payoff is absolutely there. So, guess credit to Gambit for sticking with the idea.
Yes, that's very nice. Forrest with the mid control. Good shot from him, but he's brought down extremely low. Still a big advantage for Gambit in this. This is always the conversation on this map, though, is that as CTs, you can't just sit back on this map. You have to gain control of something, whether it's at the A bomb site, whether it's at the B bomb site, whether it's at the mid. You have to control one of those as the defense. And at the moment early on, you think back to pistol round, Gambit's wanted to keep control of A main.
Look at the big difference here. Finch has got the Molotov, and also Mo is nearby with that AWP. He's going to put it out defensively, so only one person in the bomb site right now trying to make his way in. Forrest goes down, and Fitch now stuck in the back line, trying to see if he can make it work. Rez will take him down, but there's Mo. Gets one, and then the second as well. And Gambit can end up winning the round. So very smooth, and just overall great stuff. That's what we want to see. Nice
mobility from Fitch in that B bomb site as well. Just getting that first kill and then positioning himself on the other side of the box. So the player trying to wrap the site cannot see him. It takes too much time for that kill to come in. And then at this point, Mo's already been brought over. He's helping out as well. Good defense there from Gambit. Good opening with that A main push. We'll see. That's kind of interesting because Get Right, I don't think was really blind. I don't think he was affected by that flashbang too much. Just couldn't find the kill.
A bit of a classic duel in the middle here. AWP on either side. You see this all the time, but it is a big risk, whoever you are, to try and make that opening. Somehow he jumps right over the angle. Hobbit there to try and get the kill, and Rez almost brought down as well. They're going to get Mo killed in the middle. At least Draken going to be able to win that fight, but now Fitch is in some trouble here. Spraying through. Forrest only going to get the one kill. Can they punish this? He's reloading right in front of them, and he ends up going down to Exist. So still 1 man advantage here for NiP, but Doja's in the angle with the AWP. Don't see that every day.
No, I was going to say, I can't remember the last time I've seen Doja with it up. We'll have to see if he's got some skills with it. Either way, he doesn't want to mess with that smoke whatsoever, so NiP being cautious, doing everything right. Draken even lurking in middle. This would be a beautiful shot to hit, but, I mean, that sucks. Yeah. That smoke just plumes. He's like, yes, I found the gap.
Yeah, and he even fails the next two grenades as well. Just very hard to spot anything if you're Doja there. NiP, after that initial fight, slowing everything to a crawl, like really trying to not to make any mistakes at all. Now, they should be in a great position here. Let's see what Gambit can bring us. 2 versus 3, grenade. Not going to go quite far enough, and more being thrown into the bomb site, but a Molotov isn't going to force anyone out. Draken will take down Doja and Adren. And not a lot that he could do at this point in time. 1 versus 3. All they have to do is hide, and they're going to go a bit aggressive. Exist landing the headshot. And that will be the round for NiP. That's about as bad as you can get for Gambit in terms of the economy game here. That's not good.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard reset. I mean, they have good news is that Mo, their opper, has 4,700, so he's got plenty of money for the next round. He'll be able to have the op. I think behind this, if you're Gambit, you just save everything because you can still have a pretty solid buy into the next round if you do that. If you don't spend too much into this, and yeah, I don't even think they spend anything. Oh no, they bought a Deagle, P250. But still, this is great stuff from NiP, and what they really did was just kind of keep the pressure on that aggression over towards Checker. Hobbit really got caught out in an awkward position, trying to help his teammate, trying to help Fitch. They did a great job getting some opening kills, but they stick around for just too long. It's always a very fine line that you're riding when you're being that aggressive.
And this round is looking great for NiP. I mean, it was just against the Nico, but still, they managed to get away with no one going down and getting a 6-1 lead. So, is there anything really standing out for Gambit at this point in time that you say this is the big mistake, or is it just that NiP have won the right rounds at the right time here?
I think the big thing is just that economic reset right there is huge, and obviously winning. I guess the one big mistake that I would point to from Gambit is keeping that MAC-10 and Scout. It didn't really come to have an impact on the round because it was just a standard play from NiP, and they went away from both weapons, but it's pretty limiting in what you can do. I like the aggression they're coming out with. It's just a little unlucky that NiP was able to punish it at the B bomb site just that previous round so harsh.
Oh.
But this is great. This is now 4 rounds we've seen Gambit go for this aid control. I love this.
It's It's an incredibly bold move from a Dren because Forrest is actually spamming that angle. Now, Forrest is doing that because he's expecting maybe a boost to come there. And it's great because if you tag someone, oh, Draken going to be taking out Mo as well. If you tag someone through the smoke, you can see the blood on the wall and you know someone will have been either boosted or had tried. But a Dren has walked through it. This could throw them off guard when they get back in. Somehow Hobbit burns alive. That's the second time that a Get Right's done that. He did last round as well. Molotov in that corner and just getting a kill.
Yeah, this is really good stuff from NiP, and it's a little unfortunate because, yes, they've gained ground over towards A, but they've lost so much in the other portions of the map. One at B, Mo obviously getting picked off in mid, puts a lot of pressure on a Dren. Because when you're this player in this position and you're down two, like this is where you want to make a play. This is where you get aggressive, and you can see NiP. So much time on the clock. Look at how much they've slowed it down. That timing is a little unfortunate for Draken, but I don't think he's going to get punished for it.
Dren almost had it, but they're going to be gravitating towards the B side. Forrest is over there with the bomb, and Fitch, I mean, as soon as they hear the bomb going down, it's just a question of saving, surely. Like, there's nothing you could do at this point, right?
No, there's not, especially because you have one flashbang and you have 0 kits. So if you're Gambit, you need to save because you only even have one person on this side of the map. I guess kind of the ideal situation, it's tough because you don't want to risk losing these guns. You're going to want them for the next round because your losing bonus got reset. But they are going to lose everything. That's kind of, I was going to go towards saying, how much do you want to try and eliminate some of these AKs as they fall back?
See, I wonder if, obviously, I think they were just looking for exits.
Yeah.
But I would say on this map, if you're Gambit and you get 5 or 6 rounds on CT side, you might still be in an alright position. It's not great, but you can make that work. And the fact that they went for that much of an aggressive play after they essentially lost the round makes me think that they're off the mindset that they need like they need 8 rounds or something, you know. Like I think they're a bit desperate at this point.
Yeah, I just think they might be starting to feel the pressure a little bit of being down 7-1, and I think also this is a very composed NiP. They're looking very cool, very confident in the decisions they're making as a team and how they execute under the bomb sites. So if you're Gambit, that's when sometimes it's frustrating when you feel like a team is not only like outplaying you in terms of aim, but when they're just making better decisions, right? You always feel like you're a step behind.
It seems to me like there's 2 problems that occur in the middle right now for Gambit, and that's one of them is Draken with the AWP. He's been hitting some pretty good shots there. And the other one is Forrest, who's just like really good at taking fights in there.
Forrest.
Yeah, back to Forrest again.
He's 10-4. He's having himself a very good game.
Once again, yeah, he's showing up. So how do you deal with that? Like, do you try to fight even harder from it, or do you just let him have it?
I mean, we saw the duel that Draken just beat Mo with in the last round. That's Mo with the AWP jumping up onto that box at the base of Highway, and that's just a fight you shouldn't be taking as an AWPer, if I'm completely honest with you. We saw them previous rounds not go for 2 wide of peak, and that's, I think, Mo feeling a little bit of pressure and trying to commit and make something happen. Those are the fights that are not like high percentage ones. So you want to stay away from that. I think maybe it's interesting that we haven't seen those ops used aggression on the extremities, right? With the amount that Adren's been pushing.
Yeah. Well, Draken getting himself into some trouble against Hobbit. Not exactly what you want to see against the pistols, but then the rest of them are USPs. So this should be still very manageable for NiP.
Creative play, though. I mean, Gambit's loving this main aggression. Look at the minimap. I mean, Span coming through from Rez doing some damage, but this is now 3 players in the mid-round have decided to push A. Desperate situation. You want to try and make something happen, and NiP's got their eyes on it. They're ready. Forrest, this is a little bit of a warm-up shot, a little bit of a death match for him.
Yes. You could tell from the way that he moves that he's not worried at all. And leaves Mo. Trying to see if he could sneak in one last kill. Anyone getting careless towards the end. So just to get back to the upcoming round for Gambit, I'm assuming it's going to be a buy round. Yeah, it will be.
It has to be.
So what would you say? Would you just try and put 2, 3? We even see 3 people middle. Like there's 1 vent, 2 middle, right?
Listen, I'd go back to that A main aggression because they've had success doing it. They got the double kill, and not only that, but they've had success getting a player there safely. Adren's been there a number of times, so I think you do that. I think you take control of it, but you have to sustain on the other side of the map. You can't be losing players. You can't lose Mo to a duel in mid all by himself and then lose mid and all the information that comes from that. And you can't get your B players and checkers being aggressive and then getting picked off. So you have to do something where you can stay into the late round. And at the moment, they at least haven't lost anyone early. This is a chance, though. That is so risky.
Yeah, incredibly so. Just a deep breath for everyone on the Gambit fan base there, just wondering if Draken was going to be up there. But they've done significant damage to NiP, so even at 8-1, this is still doable. Double boost coming in for NiP, then the flashbangs go over, and now they've got some mid control.
Yeah, they have like everything. Like, this is a full rotate from Gambit. There's 4 players over towards A. That's a nice shot. He's got to do more. But if NiP adjusts quickly, they obviously can't read that 4 players are here. But Gambit, you can see how nervous they are of losing these bomb sites. They don't want to give it up.
Such a nice position for Mo. Sees Forest peak the first time, then just sets it up for the kill. And now that they've got the kill on Get Right too, it is looking pretty tough here for NiP, I guess. The damage here, getting some rifles away, that would be the big win. Doja taking down Rez through the door. Rez has not had a fun game on the other hand. Forrest has been doing great, but he's definitely been struggling. Draken not hitting the shot either, so something's working out here for Gambit.
Now for Gambit, it's all about, I mean, obviously secure the win, but don't lose too many players. Don't take any individual duels. Obviously, Fitch is all alone. This could be a great benefit to NiP if they're able to get into the site and find Fitch. That would be huge, because Hobbit's the closest one, and he's back towards CT spawn watching mid. And that would give a real chance for NiP. I mean, obviously you get the bomb plant if Exist is going to go for this. There's only 10 seconds on the clock, though, so I don't know if he's actually going to try and get into the bomb site.
Oh, he tries for the spray, but I actually think that smoke was so well timed for Fitch. That made it a lot harder for Exist to do anything, so...
No, but it's dangerous. I mean, if he gets that kill and gets the bomb planted, then Draken starts to rotate over, and then it gets into a position where Gambit has to retake that bomb site, and there's an opportunity to lose, 2-3 players in the round.
Yeah. So 8-2. Good opening kills from Mo on both Get Right and Forest, although losing that much mid control again. And it's sort of the discussion we were having, like, do you try and control mid even more, or do you just leave it alone?
I think they got a little bit of a benefit. NiP hasn't gone too hard for it, and they've switched things up. This time Draken's highly aggressive when he gets boosted up, just goes for the wide peek and tags Mo right through the wall. So early damage onto Mo, and he's just got to fall away. Again, aggression towards A main. They back off of it, though. A little bit of spam love.
It's not every day you see that kind of a fight going in through the wall, but then Rez comes out and takes down Mo. That's very unfortunate. Gonna go for a bit of a boost over in that corner. But still, being a man down like this early on for Gambit, they've already got reset once. They can't let it happen again.
No, they really can't, and that's a shame, because they had good control, and they just kind of lose track of the fact that Door's there. And everyone on NiP, it seemed like the idea was be a little bit more aggressive in the early stages. Rez with that peek, obviously hearing the spam, and Draken with the wide peek on boost to tag up Mo through the wall. And now again, NiP with a 5-on-4 advantage for over a minute into this round. It gets so sketchy. Look at how this defense is split on the minimap. 2 players at A, 2 players at B, nothing in mid. Exist has everything he could possibly want. Adren's got the AWP here, though. That has been salvaged. So that's going to be an interesting battle. He's blinded up. Exist almost picking him off.
Trapped in the corner, Doja goes down, and there's nothing that Adren could do with that corner any longer. If he'd stayed to fight, then they would have grenaded him down instead, so... Hobbit and Fitch just have to accept the fact that this is not going to be a one round.
They've had to do that a lot this half, haven't they?
There really has been a lot of that. It's not been great right now for Gambit. About to be 9-2, and again, the rest of the team here are going to have almost no economy at all.
That's the tough part of this map, though, is when you are a man down and you give up mid like that. If you give a team like NiP, if you give any team really that much space and that much time to just kind of work their way through mid, that's where it becomes such a critical position. Yes. Because you can see coming up highway, your defender boosted up is exposed, your AWPer's exposed, he's in a tough position, and you just kind of lose everything. You just slowly get strangled.
Well, Fitch is doing his best to try and keep this AWP alive. Definitely be important for them if he can. Good use of grenades as well. It seems like he's going to be successful. In that 4 versus 5, you sounded mildly surprised they'd gone for like 2 in A and 2 in B, and they were so far away from each other. If you're a brand new player, you're just watching Counter-Strike for the first time, that might seem like a really logical thing. You're like, well, sure, they've got 4 left, they're just going to split them evenly and then defend both bomb sites. But is it that easy? It's
not that easy, because the big thing you're doing is you're just denying yourself information. You're letting NiP dictate everything, and to be honest with you, on a map like Cash, it seems like there's no real good answer, because if you decide to get aggressive somewhere because you've been picked off so early in the round, then that's when NiP's like slowing things down and they're waiting for you to make some kind of a play. So this is why Cash can be so difficult for the CT side. But at least in that round, just turtling up with 2 players in each site gives NiP far too much room. You do need to find some way to be proactive.
Wow.
You don't have to see nades do that much damage through the door.
No, you don't. And I think NiP went for the trick where you open the door sort of the wrong way. So they actually invited that grenade. Draken will get the kill on Doja, but Rez is kind of low and Draken's tagged up as well. So we'll see. A huge stack towards the B bomb site. A huge risk right now being pulled for Gambit. Mo alone in the bomb site with the AWP. That's just a lot of pressure on his shoulders. We'll see if he's going to be up for it. He's been talked up a lot by the analysts, and maybe this is his time to prove what he could do. The door swings open again. He knows they're going to come any second now. And he's got a little bit of backup, actually. A lot of backup coming in. Wow, Gambit are all over the place.
I know this round means everything. Getting reset twice in this half, that would be so brutal.
Oh, well, the Dren going to get the kill. He does get taken out, but that's actually not bad at all. There's a guy right on top of the container, and because of the zoom, he couldn't see a single thing. Fitch is going to be going down as well, and NiP, they look like a very, very good team. Like, they look almost unrecognizable from what they did even 4 months ago.
Yeah, this threat, being able to talk at the beginning of the round, seems to have transformed this team into something very dangerous. And again, it just seems like it's a Malmö thing. This is what happened last year as well when they won it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we've known they've had the skill. It's always been a question of the leadership and kind of some of the decisions that we've seen coming out from them in-game. So they seem very confident in just what they're doing across the map at all times. So comfortable as well.
Look at Forrest. He's back to deathmatch here. He knows they've got pistols. He's just going to be running right into the middle, finding a quick triple in the round, boosting himself up to 16 kills, because why not?
Yeah, that's great. That's good stuff. Always fun to watch that. Quick triple kill for Forrest. Fitch, again, nothing to do. This has been domination from NiP, and it's a shame because actually, like, Gambit, when you think, like, theory of cash, right? Like, Gambit's actually done some things very right. They're taking, making sure they're still being aggressive early on, getting control of A main pretty frequently. It's just not working out for them whatsoever. They just lose too much on the other side of the map.
You know, I don't watch a lot of basketball or football. Anyway. I feel like if you showed some fan, like, I don't know, like, just the legs of Messi or something, and they'd be able to see from the way that he moves and kicks the ball that exactly what football player it was. I feel like Forrest is someone like that in Counter-Strike. Like, if you just saw the way that he moves and the way that he sort of positioned himself, even if you strip the name away, you could probably tell anyway, right? That's a lot of damage from just shooting at the wall. Mo,
that's not bad, is it?
Down to 29. I feel like this half for Gambit is not going to be recoverable at this point.
It's like the half we saw from Virtus Pro yesterday, where you're just like, nothing is going in their favor. Nothing at all, actually. Yep, even Gambit, Molotov down. This is back to that fourth round strategy. Just kind of walk towards B with all 5 players, get into the site. Forrest is going to die. He's going to burn himself alive. Now there's a fighting chance for Gambit to get back into it. Now it's looking good.
A little bit better. Hobbit with the kill, but Rez actually finally getting a kill there, taking down Hobbit, and now 2 versus 3. NiP low on health. They are going to try for the bomb plant. There are no more grenades left on the Gambit side, so still a slight chance here. Spray almost taking down Mo, and he's going to get the kill on Doja. Gambit, they had everything going for them in this round, but now it's looking a lot more questionable, and they don't have a defuse kit picked up. It's now or never. If they want a chance to get 4 rounds on the board, they're going to have to win this 2v2. He's waiting in the corner. Exists. There's going to be 1 peek. The other one is a bit too slow. And Mo is on 3 health. Just trying to fall back to a different position and keeping Rest guessing. But there's almost too much time that's expired already here. Mo showing himself, and Rest going to be able to take him out easily for a nice triple kill here for the young Swedish player. That's going to be great. 12-2. How did it fail, Moses? What went wrong?
It helps that Exist was just being so active, even with only 12 HP of his own, just spamming through the smokes, going for something. A desperate situation, really. Rez taking out Hobbit was a big key to securing that bomb site so they could start to feel a little bit comfortable. But overall, this is just a great 2-on-3 for NiP to win. I
think this is one of those rounds that really highlights why you need grenades. Because when Gambit has to go for that retake, there's no one that can, like, even 1 flashbang would have been nice, just to 1, 2, 3, let's go. But
again, it just goes in, it just is a testament to the economic ruin they've been in this whole half, as they just didn't have the money for it. And actually, I don't know how Force survives that long. Able to get 1 kill on Mo, and there's mid control, and now Rez can be a little bit more aggressive. He knows if Hobbit's going to fall back at all, it's going to be from highway, so he can keep his eye on that angle, and it doesn't matter whatsoever. He's already taken out. So 4-on-2, 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the round. And this is where
I'm wondering, did Exist get that kill through the smoke? Because there was a smoke up in middle.
It seemed like it when we switched over. The smoke was up, wasn't it?
Oh, man. Let's hope not. Fitch is going to be going down. Exist with a kill, a 13-2 half in favor of NiP here. It is the first map in a best of 3, and it's the map that they picked, so I'm not really too worried for Gambit right now, but obviously an incredible job here for Swedish Ninjas really early on. 16 kills on Forest, but the rest of his team is right there with him. Exist on 13, Draken on 12, 11 on Rez, Get Right on 6.
It was a little bit through the smoke. He spotted him jump up, and then the smoke cleaned, and he just guessed the timing. That's good stuff.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, the big thing is kind of what I've been harping on this whole half was, yeah, Gambit did some very cool things with the aggression, but just not enough kills going out their way, right? Like, they're just not getting the frags. And that's the other half of the equation in Counter-Strike Enders. You have to be able to kill people.
Yeah, that's a valuable point that you bring up. I'm glad that you brought that to our attention.
Just in case any viewers weren't aware of that fact.
Yeah, it's it seems to me like there's a point in that first half, and I don't think it's quite the first economic reset, like the fifth round where they lose. Oh, sorry, they win the fifth round and then they sort of lose the sixth, right? But somewhere around that, where they lose the next 4 rounds in a row, just sort of feels like Gambit run out of steam a bit. Like, you know, like they're having a hard time keeping the focus the same way.
Yeah.
And that's really rough. Like, that's something you don't want to see, even when you're losing this badly, you know?
Right, and it is tough to stay that composed because you start feeling the pressure as a player and you start feeling like you need to be the one to do something, and that's usually where it snowballs out of control as well. Regardless, they just didn't have anyone that was able to step up in any kind of way. NiP doing a retake on the A bomb site strategy. Draken, I don't imagine he's going to stick around for too long. That being said, it looks like he wants to try and grab 1 kill. Forrest with the pistol going to get 1, and now he's fighting for his life, and he's got to just survive in the smoke.
Yeah, he's trying his very best at the moment, and somehow he's able to make it back onto highway. The bomb not quite going down. Well, there it is finally. Get Right, though, has got a kill on Dozier in the meantime. So in terms of retaking, NiP are in prime position. Gambit right now, be great if they could steal a USP and fight long range. Instead, Get Right getting another kill. Exist, the flank doesn't quite work out, but Fitch and Mo have got almost no health left at all, so winning this 2 versus 4 is almost going to be impossible at this point in time. Fitch doing his best. Mo has got 1 headshot there, close range. The jump comes in, and now Mo, can he actually spot the defuse? No, it's on the other side of the box, and he knows it. 5 seconds left. It's almost a full defuse, and Mo comes in and just completely runs them down for the ace in the pistol. And Gambit, what an unlikely round to be winning.
That's insane that he's able to do that. How is he not covered a little bit better? Great shot on the first person trying to cover the diffuser. But they had no business winning this round. A retake strategy for NiP, and they get 2 kills before the retake even begins. If NiP has a kit there, that's over. I was noticing that as that round went on, is that they didn't have any kits whatsoever bought up.
That's absolutely mad. I mean, it'd be one thing if Mo could have got the last 2 kills if the bomb was out in the open. Maybe he could snipe them away, but as soon as you see it being behind the box, or at least the diffuser is, you think that's it.
And it would have been if there was a kid, right? He had 5 seconds left, I think, when he got taken out. Either way, heroics by Mo bring him into the second half with a pistol round win, so still a slight chance to get something going in this half. They have to survive the Deagles and the CZs, though. Good positioning so far, just kind of staying out of danger after Get Right gets 1. Just seeing what kind of information they can find.
Absolute madness here in map 1. Exist and Draken over at the A-bomb site, but Gambit slowly going to be coming for them. They've got the grenades and they are going to use them as well. Very good idea just to minimize the potential for failure here, making sure all the angles are covered. And Forrest and Get Right on the other side can't really do much of anything, so clean round coming in here from Gambit.
Yeah, really nice. Just kind of grouping up after that initial action, after that initial trade, and making sure no matter where they go, they're going to have a man advantage. They're going to be there to help each other out. Clean take of that A bomb site. So it's going to be 4-13. And this is, I think, I heard Henry, as he usually does, and Sadicus harping on it a little bit with their, you know, Henry starting an Economy 101 class. Yeah. When you're up 13-2, don't force buy in the second round. Well, NiP has failed that lesson.
I've got to be honest, I don't know if I would be taking economic advice from Henry. I've seen questionable decisions from him in the past when it comes to money.
Yes. He's had some good ones, though, as well.
Yeah, I know you've been there for him in the past a couple of times.
Yeah, you know, listen, we here in the caster group have each other's back.
Take care of each other. 13-4, ladies and gentlemen. What scale of comeback are we talking about here for Gambit? Like, how massive is this going to be if it works out?
It'd be a huge comeback in isolation of the one map, right? But being the first map in the series, it wouldn't be like the craziest, most intense thing ever. But it would obviously be great for them to do that, to steal the map away. I think it's a little early to be discussing the monumental.
In Jenga terms.
In Jenga terms?
Is it the whole tower on one brick in the bottom and then?
The tower was like leaning over and it just snaps back into position.
Yeah, and it snaps back.
Yep.
All right. Glad we covered that. They are all grouping up, about to run into Get Right, who's been waiting here for a while. That's a mid-air headshot. Adren doesn't even touch the ground before he's dead, and Rez also picking up a kill, but they're still going to fall apart there. Doja to pick it up with a Galil towards the end. So 5-13. And I still think this map is... I've seen so many games in the past from absolute top-level teams that have just had a really hard time closing out once they get to the CT side.
Well, that's kind of why one of the reasons. I mean, we saw what this map is like as a CT team if you get into economic woes, and look at this buy that NiP comes out with. This is very weak. No kit whatsoever. 1 nade on 4 of their players. 2 smokes left, 3 flashbangs. You feel like you can't really do a whole lot. So it'll be interesting to see how NiP wants to overcome the low economy. They want to wait out that spam and boost someone up, but they're just going to call it off. So it's just basically going to have to be nothing special, just a default setup. The one big thing they have going for him, Draken with EWP being aggressive over towards the B bomb site. He's getting a lot of information. He's going to have this angle. Does he want to actually challenge Hobbit is the question.
Oh, he tries for the shot. Hobbit is already out of the corner. That's still a lot of map control missing now for Gambit.
Yeah, but you have 2 options as Gambit, right? You can either go away from that, or you can try and retake B, and it looks like they don't really want to mess with it. Draken's wisely giving it up because he knows if they all send 4 people back, he's just going to get eliminated. So they're just going to give up on that half of the map, and that allows NiP to have 3 players over at A.
Flash in on the other side, and great kill from Exist, but Mo able to recover. A couple of more bullets, and he would have been down and out immediately now. Are they going to follow up on this? 40 seconds here for Gambit to make it onto the site, and they need to continue this momentum. Forrest going to shoot Dozier in the face, so he's gone, but there's just an edge there, and Hobbit getting a kill. Fitch to follow it up, and Hobbit's finally going to be going down, but it's still a 2-on-2 here, and the bomb, it should be planted. Like the idea that Fitch is putting up that smoke, and he hits the headshot on Get Right. Looked like he didn't have time to recover at all, but bomb will be going down, and Draken to retake with the AWP. That's not what you want to see. Right now, Gambit got a good shot at winning this 2 versus 1. Draken, he's got no angles at all to look for. He's trying his best, but they're not giving him much. That flick not going to hit, and now I'm wondering, he's actually going to pick up the AWP, or the AK, but I'm wondering if he shouldn't just fall back and save the AWP, because this is almost too much. There's already some time that's been ticked off the clock, and Mo going to be able to take him down, but without the kit, they can just wait for a very long time, can't they?
They really could. And Mo didn't even have to peek there, but he just goes for it anyways. Not too bad. 1 player in mid from Gambit really busts open that defense. It's a cool idea from NiP. I like the pop flash for Exist in because you have 3 players here. So sending 1 to get the information to try and get a kill is phenomenal. It's when the 2 players are stuck in the bomb site after Forrest gets that kill on a Doja, where just the 1 player in mid finds his timing to peek, really distract them and force them out of position. Also doesn't help that Fitch snaps over to Get Right when he's got him in the back.
Oh, are they going to go for the triple grenade on top of the boost? They're right there. And 1 more second, and I think that would have been it. They were boosting on the other side.
That would have been sick, wouldn't it have? Those are the kind of nade stacks you would love to see. Either way, Gambit's going to fight their way out of this stack. They're going to lose a Dren, but there shouldn't be a whole lot of danger from here. Pretty low half HP on Rez. Yeah, Hobbit, he's being highly aggressive, and nice headshot, but Forrest takes him out. Either way, Gambit, they're getting back into it. Henders, are you starting to believe a little bit?
You know, you always got to be careful about that because you're going to jinx it, right? So you don't want to, you
don't want to do that.
You don't want to put a stick in their wheel right now. They seem to be doing a fine job right now, Gambit. I'm really impressed. 5 rounds in a row. They've managed to make life hard on NiP in terms of the economy, but speaking of which, because you weren't too impressed with that 4th round buy, this is more interesting.
Yeah, this is a sick buy, right? But you could have had this buy in the 4th round if you don't go for everything. That's kind of the shame, is that you don't actually get this purchase until the 6th round of the half rather than the 4th. So NiP, that's a cool boost initially. Doesn't get any damage or any kill from it, so wasted opportunity, but like the initiative.
Yeah, Hobbit was even over there, so could have maybe worked out.
They just naded him as well through the window, so some chip damage from NiP onto Hobbit. This is very much like the last gun run that we had, where Hobbit's basically the only one over towards the B bomb site, just varying his levels of aggression, and everyone else towards A.
What do you make of the setup with Get Right and Draken in middle? Like, Get Right's actually looking towards, I guess, Squeak Door from middle, and then Draken's on the Sugar Cube or the box in middle.
Yeah, Get Right's just not even spotting into the door. He's just waiting to see the door open. But it is kind of cool because if there's mid pressure, if there's some kind of a mid take, Exist can easily turn and pop flash for Draken and Get Right to get aggressive if they want. And then obviously they have quick rotations over towards the A bomb site if needed. And there it is. There's the flash. As soon as the door opens up, they're going to smoke it off as well. This will allow Draken to cross in towards the bomb site. And a heavy lean towards A for NiP. 4 players here.
This kind of setup to me smells like threat. I haven't seen that very often. That seems like a really predetermined round here. Fitch is going to be going down to Get Right in the middle, so that part of the push is almost gone. There's still Hobbit lingering around, but with 20 seconds left, Gambit have made their lives very difficult. Mo going to get the kill on Exist, but there's more to come. Adren with a shot, and also Rez goes down, so the bomb site falls. There's only 10 seconds here, and Get Right, if you could have got the kill on the bomb carrier, that might have been it. Adren hitting another headshot, taking down Get Right, and now it's all on Forest, and he's going to get caught 2 angles. And he goes down. That's another round, 6 in a row for Gambit here in the second half.
Phenomenal takes from Gambit, on that A bomb site. Again, NiP has a stack over there. 3 players in the bomb site. Get Right with a quick rotation over. He even gets the 2 kills in mid. The mid portion of that attack is not impressive whatsoever, but the trades for Gambit from Adren and Doja getting into that bomb site are just massive. And there was no one in the bomb site for NiP was actually fighting when they were coming out. They had a lot of space, a lot of freedom to get up close and turn that corner.
Dren doing a remarkable job there, getting a double kill as they try and push into main. And over on the other side, Rez is about to fight 3 people at once with a UMP. I think they've done some great grenade damage already, but this UMP should not be enough. 1 flashes in, and there they come. Hobbit with the opening, and it is going to be another round here for Gambit.
This is insanity, Anders. It's on. Comeback's a real thing right now. NiP's in a very dangerous spot of letting this slip away. This is another buy round. They have the full lose bonus, but they've completely bought out. They're going to have to save into the next one because this is another round where they just don't have the utility to really slow anything down, to be too proactive on the defense, and Gambit is punishing this.
Maybe they've super glued those Jenga cubes together. I swear, for those of you watching, this is throw forward comedy. Like, it'll make sense in a couple of days. Right now it doesn't, but just remember the Jenga reference.
When it comes, you'll think of this moment.
Yeah, you'll remember it. Doja to get a headshot there, taking down Get Right, and they don't save a single rifle, and Gambit move on to win. Now, 7 rounds in a row on the second half, and the scoreline is 9-13. Where's the timeout for NiP? Where's the...
Maybe they think they don't need it because he's able to talk during freeze time. But yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't... maybe it comes after this round. Maybe for the next gun round, they're going to take that timeout.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think we're seeing a little bit of the disconnect. Like you mentioned, some of these setups from NiP have been pretty cool. So obviously, you think maybe that's threat and the theory crafting they've put into this map before in practice leading up to this event. But something's not getting done properly in the actual application. You should, if you're NiP, if you have 4 players on the A side of the map and Get Right gets 2 kills in mid, that should be a round for you. Perhaps it is 9 times out of 10, but not so far in this match.
This certainly speaks to the sort of strength of Gambit, because I was getting worried in that first half. I thought they looked like a team that were about to throw in the towel, right? You can come back and play this well in the second half anyway. Certainly very interesting. Some of it has also been Adren just playing a little bit better in the second half. Doja with a headshot there, taking down Exist. You know what I'd like to see in the next round? Not so much this one.
What's that, Anders?
Double push into Squeak Door from NiP.
From NiP?
I like that.
Okay, that's a risky push.
It is, yeah, it really is. Because you could get completely stuck there, can't you? But I just think it's one of those fun things that you don't always expect.
Yeah, it definitely has the potential to catch him off guard. You know what else does? Rez is pushing up B. He's going to have a quick flank coming in, and there's a stack towards the A bomb site, but great shot from Fitch. It's just pistols from NiP. Gambit should be able to get over this. Forrest, a little bit of magic would go a long way, and it's not going to happen, unfortunately. He needed at least 1 kill, I think, to buy some time for this flank to really come to fruition.
Oh, that's a nice headshot, though. Still being allowed to fight, but reload Oh, you hate to see it. It could have maybe picked up the rifle and it would have been different.
That E pickup wasn't working for him. We've all been there.
It's happened to everybody. So, 13 to 10, 8 rounds in a row. They got 2 in the first half, and now it's just all working out. They're doing even better than NiP were in the first half.
Yeah, this is great. Not even slowing down whatsoever, and it has been. There's only been one like great buy out of NiP in this half. This is what we always talk about. You know, going back to Henry's discussed and in our discussed at times with the kind of economic decisions is NiP. It feels like they haven't really given himself a whole lot of rounds. Now, here's that door push that you liked. Draken with the AWP just holding the angle. Not going to come to fruition. Doja a little bit too wise to it, just throwing out a nade and falling back. So it's NiP who comes on the losing end of it.
Yeah, and I mean, Mo was also there. Both Doja and Mo are actually covering that. So, and I would have wanted if I was the captain, I would have told Draken to go even further. So that probably would have been a mistake because they were both waiting. But yeah, I was expecting a further push, but I still kind of like it. You know, they've got a bit in there. I think they wanted to go for the boost as well, and that got cancelled. So NiP just shuffling a bit all over the place. Now they're just spread out, sort of one long line here. And I guess the weakness right now is over at the B bomb site.
Yes, with Rez all by himself, but Dren taking a little bit of fire from mid. That's kind of the big thing, especially because Get Right's smoked off. He can't actually do anything in mid, so no reason for him not to go over towards B. Forrest is going to clear it out, but he gets traded. There it is. That's a very fortunate spam through the smoke. It's going to help out a lot, though. Rez trying to delay as long as he can, running right into the flames. There's only one place he can go from here. They've got to hold this line.
Draken gets one kill, and you could see Rez wasn't aware that he'd already made it into checker there. Fitch with a really good timing now. Exist trying to challenge the Molotov. He gets the kill on Orbit. And that's the bomb being delayed another couple of seconds here. It's still a 2-on-2. 19 seconds, 18 seconds trying to sneak through the smoke. And Mo is right there to get the kill. Exist trying to be the hero, I think. Draken is so far away that he felt he had to do something.
That's that pressure of not even winning a single round in this. You feel like you have to be the hero. Why not wait for Draken to get a little bit closer? Now there's no way that he can even go for it, even if he wanted to. Long route to get towards that B bomb set in the flank, but it's going to be another one for Gambit. And this time it just seemed very awkward at that B bomb site. It was exactly what you said. That was the weak spot. One player there forced into an awkward spot because of the Molotov and peeks a little bit too wide. And NiP, again, still winless in this half.
And I wonder if, because you mentioned this Fitch running through the Molotov.
Yep.
And I think maybe that's what beat the sort of the positional clock in Rez's mind, because you could tell that he was so focused on the first entrance. He wasn't even thinking about checkered, right? He was thinking, well, yeah, I would have heard if anyone ran in there.
Or I've dropped the Molotov, surely no one's ran through it. I'm safe for another 3 seconds or so.
So it's little things like that that actually go quite a long way. There's the timeout finally for NiP. So what are the words of encouragement coming out for Threat right now? Don't worry, guys. Losing 9 rounds in a row is no big deal.
We haven't right where we want him. We've lured him into the trap. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I would like to see a little bit more. You might as well try for a little bit more aggression, because the aggression we've seen out of NiP has been pretty measured. It's been Draken pushing B with the AWP, trying to just grab an angle in Sunroom, and then grabbing an angle in the door, and then falling back off it. They haven't really kind of committed to that too much to where they can get a quick flank off of it.
Well, that one AWP saved from the last round. There's lots of examples in Counter-Strike history where one, especially AWP like this, saved can make a big difference, but on a map like Cache, it's kind of difficult once you fire it, because they're gonna hear it and probably go somewhere else.
No, but they're using it in a way where they can at least eliminate, you know, 1/3 of the attack points for the terrorist side, right? He's pushed B, so he's got all that information. They're not coming at the B bomb site. They have to go through mid. So all you have to do, I mean, all you have to do is keep your eyes on the A bomb site in mid, and at least you'll have the information. He's just gonna have to get on his horse once this hit comes in. The flank needs to be very quick.
There's a boost up in that corner for NiP. Only pistols, but still could get very interesting here. Forrest goes down to Mo and Exist, revealing his position maybe a bit too soon. Get Right will get one, but it is just not enough right now. Rez on the bomb site. Next to go down, and again, Draken probably gonna have to try and save this AWP, and nowhere on the map is saved right now. They have a lot of time to hunt for him, so this is as good a position, I think, as any, just to try and see if he can do it. He legs Mo. Now it's going to get rough.
Yeah, now it's going to get really rough. Position's been given up. He's been tagged down to 22. Hobbit's already here. I don't think he's going to be ready for this. This is a blistering half from Gambit, although he adjusts nicely. Hobbit not aware that he'd gotten into that position already. Still, you have to think Fitch is going to be the next one to find him.
He's boxed in. Oh my god. You know, in Jenga terms, that's like touching the tower is just, you know, shaking. You didn't quite pull it out either, so it's just now you're in trouble. That's what happened to.
When you have, well, we didn't play with the rule where you have to do the brick that you touched first.
We didn't. I think we cheated a lot, actually. 12 to 13. Oh my god, 10 rounds in a row here for Gambit. They've lost Zeus, but they haven't quite lost the spirit, you can tell. They're still looking like a very good team. And, you know, NiP were looking super composed on the first half. They looked like a team that were just going to cruise right through this cash map. And I don't know what's happening now, but NiP have got to be worried.
Yeah, they were loving it. They were dictating the pace. They were choosing all the points of actions. They were reading their opponent. And it's not so fun when you're on the opposite end, when you're on the receiving end of a team who's doing that. You have a little bit less fun, don't you? So they really haven't been able to figure out what to do. And outside of Draken, with his aggression at certain positions on the CT side, they haven't really... Everything else has been pretty standard on this map. Everything else has been pretty default. There's been no real tricks outside of some of those setups. Able to cheat a fourth player over occasionally, but even that's not having any success. Still blanked. And Gambit now keeping things simple. 5-on-5. They spread out in a default. Now they're just rotating everyone over towards the A bomb site just for another execute, another hit. Molotov's going to be everywhere. Draken going to get forced out.
Exist trying to get the counter grenades in there, buying as much time as he can. That Molotov right at the feet of Draken means he has to move out of the position. There's only 36 seconds left, but that might be plenty of time for Gambit. They've certainly been doing a lot of damage already now. They need to get the last step in and get that bomb plant in. Mo and Adren getting a couple of kills. Draken in the back, he gets one, but he can't pick up Fitch. That's a bit of an overpeak from him, just going all the way in. Rez and Forest, 2 versus 4 here. NiP, they have 3 men at the bomb site, and it doesn't look anywhere near good enough.
The balls on Gambit, that's such a sick execute. All the Molotovs, all the nades. You could see as well, Doja and Door, as soon as the 2 Molotovs go out towards Quad and NBK corner out towards Fence, he starts spamming the door, does some extra damage onto Exist, brings him down to 4. But the rest of Gambit is just walking along Forklift and walking along those smokes. So no indication for the NiP defense that that hit is actually about to come. It's just a big posturing at that point with the nades. And they catch everyone off guard. Get right over at Forklift couldn't get anything done. Exist with only 4 HP couldn't get anything done. This is really, really dire for NiP now.
Scoreline is tied up at 13-13 with Gambit winning 11 rounds straight here in the second half. I mean, now...
And it all started with an unlikely Mo ace in the first round, right? That one ace.
Well, if you are gonna spark the team, then I guess that's how you do it. Also captaining the team right now,
yeah,
and everything all at once. This is some absolute madness. I wasn't expecting this.
I wasn't ready for it.
We were saying train, you know, maybe would be where the fire would really get going, and this is out of control. It's gonna be a lot of excited Gambit fans because, I mean, they impressed everyone at the major, obviously winning that thing. But as soon as Zeus departs, there's gonna be so many question marks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of really big question marks, especially because you go to Adren as the in-game leader. And then also, I mean, there's this one weird like effect that's like when you win a major, obviously, but there's always like one tournament where your team does a little bit better than they're expected to, and just like the success just makes people play better because they have so much more confidence, and that could be what we're seeing out of this Gambit roster at the moment. Not giving up in this fight. Here's a little bit of a change-up, a little bit more aggression. Get right going for a timing.
And Exist in main. So they've actually got 2 points of aggression right now for NiP. They need to change this. They need to win rounds on the CT side if they want any chance of winning this map. That's pretty much where we're at. Get right. Close on the other side. He's already heard the grenades. He knows the boost is coming in. He's going to catch it as they're setting it up. So that's a great kill on Adren now. Getting back out with a nice flashbang. And so far it looks like he's about to escape just around the box as they peek in. That might have been it.
Running the gauntlet, and now Exist has advanced positioning. Like you said, in A main, he's got even further. He's not going to find anyone as he turns this corner, but quick flank. The bomb is there. He's going to hear these footsteps, and he sees a shoulder, but he's given up his position. I don't think either of them want to fight that, Doja or Exist. It's back to the B bomb site for Gambit. 3 players here for NiP. Surely this is where they hold it. A lot of Molotovs on the Gambit side, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, Rez is not going to have a good time at all. He gets a headshot, and that's about as good as it could have been there. More grenades raining in. This isn't easy right now. Gambit turning the tide. 3 men on the bomb side. Draken in the back corner here with the AWP, and those 2 kills are massive. Now it's just Mo. 1 versus 3. In the floor of the bomb site, and he's got the bomb picked up. 10 seconds left. He's going to get the kill on 1. Running with the C-set, 75, 9 seconds, and he's not going to be able to get the no-scope in. Finally, after losing 11 rounds in a row, NiP finally on the board on the CT side.
Yeah, and it's nice to see a little bit more initiative, a little bit more aggression from the individual players. Get right, just patiently finding his timing on boost. Exists as well, trying to find that timing on the quick flank. But it is that AWP in the B bomb site that holds the ground. They were not expecting that 3rd player to still be in the site. Finally, they've clawed their way into one. And the money's not great on the Gambit side of things, so losing this could be a little dangerous.
Oh, wow, look at how quick they are, Gambit. Right in the middle. If NiP had been trying to fight that, could have been a bit of a knockout punch, actually, just charging through the smoke. Aggression from Draken, and he actually hits the 2nd shot on Doja. Not so easy through that angle, but there's that aggressive squeak push that we were bringing up earlier. This time it works out.
You're loving it, and also that's a full set of nades that just went down. There was so much utility used on that mid control from Gambit early on in mid. There's only 1 player with any nades left on them, so we're not going to see those typical executes that have been so successful at these bomb sites, the fire bombing of the B site, the smoke executes at A. But it is Rez who's got a tough job to do. UMP, and he's sticking around in checkers, just now getting out of it. It is looking like it'll be a split here with a lurk from Adren over towards A.
And if they push this bomb side, if Forrest can just make a bit of noise in the back with the AWP, that could be very interesting. Wallbang attempt coming out from Mo. That could have been a nice shot if he could have made it work. Get right takes down Fitch, and the UMP put into play. Rez getting 1, and a bit of a ring around the rosy there as Mo does go down. It will be Adren who was the flank, as you said, coming in with 17 health, and looks like it is about to be 15 rounds here for NiP. There's only 20 seconds left, so it's taken them a long time, but now at least they're going to get to map point.
That seemed like a little bit of a questionable round from Gambit, I think. Maybe not questionable in like what they did, but just they kind of lost the plot somewhere through that round. The mid control was great, but when they eventually go to that B bomb site and they try and make their way in, they only have 1 smoke. So, I mean, no one's really feeling uncomfortable in that bomb site for NiP. The defense is just very, very happy they're coming ahead of them like that, because all there is a blocked off CT spawn and Forrest in the site with the AWP not being blind. That's just tough stuff for Gambit as they run out of utility at the end of the round. And NiP, get right hiding his monitor.
Suspicious as always.
Yeah, what is that camera doing here? Regardless, it seems like that 1 win kind of gave him a little bit of a spark right at the end.
Yeah, I think we've seen that happen before, and also for Gambit, once you win 11 rounds in a row, I mean, in the beginning, when you've won the first 5 rounds in a row, you still know in the back of your mind there's a good chance they can come back and win this game right now. But 11 rounds in a row, that's when you start to feel like, oh, we might actually do this, and then there's always a chance you overthink everything a bit much, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to, you tend to change your playstyle just a bit, which might not always be the best idea. Big stack over at A early on. Get right middle, Rez and B.
And NiP is going to this style that's got him the past 2 rounds. It is that a little bit more aggressive, you know, as players. Just, you know, again, Draken with the AWP goes to try and peek in towards door. Doja uses both flashbangs to force him back. This time, though, NiP is going to do a little bit more passive. The boost up from Forrest. He's at the off ankle just above the door. 3 smokes, 3 Molotovs, 2 flashbangs for Gambit in this round. They used a lot early on to try and prevent themselves from getting picked off, and while it worked, what do you do from here?
This is very difficult if you're peeking in from the other side. Forrest is at an unlikely angle, but Mo's got a perfect read for it. That's great play. Chance for Gambit to keep it alive here. Now Exist is in some trouble. They'll get right. Gonna come up from highway and get the kill. A bit of an overextension from Exist, and Draken has also gone down. And now it's all working out brilliantly here for Gambit. It's Rez, 1 versus 4. Not sure if Exist had to be quite that aggressive.
No, I don't think so at all. But I mean, the big thing you have to realize as well, that kill from Mo is so important. Obviously, pre-aiming that off angle is a pretty cool thing to see someone do. But what that causes is the player in middle who's watching mid for NiP has to rotate up towards highway. And then Exist gets a little bit over-aggressive, like we said, swinging a little bit wide into Mo. You don't need to be doing that. You have 3 teammates there, so set up the crossfires, make them commit into the site, let them get out of that choke point before you really pounce. But just this one kill here just causes the whole sequence of events that causes NiP to fail. So Gambit not done just yet, and look at the buy from NiP. Out of money, 1 M4 on Rez, 3 CZs, a Deagle. They have suffered through this economy this entire half.
Yeah, we could be seeing overtime here, ladies and gentlemen. There's absolutely a chance that this is what's about to happen. It's a first map in a best of 3, so if you're already headed into overtime, who knows what's going to happen. I think Pip was saying he didn't want to make quite a prediction, but he thought it could be a really good game. So he's on point. Up until this point, it's been exciting. He said Deagle and that 1 M4 on the NiP side, and it's not that much excitement happening on their side in terms of aggression, at least.
I think you've just got to feel so deflated if you're NiP and you end up losing this. This is such a big round, I think, just for the whole context of the series. Yes, there's some of the most experienced players we have in Counter-Strike, but you're not immune to losing from a 13-2 halftime lead. Mo, he's been so impactful, gonna lead the way out mid. He's basically all on his own at the moment, and the response from NiP is to take A main control, just with the pistols. Doors opening for Doja. He's gonna try and do something, but NiP are reading this incorrectly. They have 4 players towards A, but the hit is gonna be at the B bomb site, and it's just this M4. Rez needs to get at least 3 kills if they want to hold this, and he can do nothing.
Instantly knocked out by a Fitch. He get down to 14 health, but that doesn't really matter. He did everything he needed to do here, and retaking for NiP is going to be nearly impossible. Good pick off there onto Adren. Still not enough, I believe. Forest will have taken down Fitch in the meantime, so a 3-on-3. C-Seds versus AK and an AWP. They almost get through the smoke, but Doja says no, and now Exist 5 seconds here for the bomb. It will be going down. Exist trying a bit more. He gets dropped. And we're in overtime. 15-15 for the first map here. Gambit and NiP at DreamHack Masters Malmö. I can't believe it. This is wild and unpredictable.
What a second half from Gambit. And NiP looking none too pleased, obviously. And the tough part as well is they do win those 2 rounds right at the end to ensure that they can get to overtime.
Yeah.
And then the one loss is they're just back on pistols. And
yeah.
I think that's the takeaway, is they had so much money issues in that second half for NiP on the defense. They didn't have the utility to do a whole lot of anything, to be frank.
See, this is where you have to hope that Threat, he's on camera here doing a bit of talking, could come up with something, right? You do get that slight mental reset as you go into overtime. There's just like, 20 seconds.
And you get the money.
And you get the money.
16K, so a little bit different from most overtimes that we're used to here.
I prefer it.
I don't. I'm the other way.
Prefer 10?
Yep.
Oh.
Either way, Draken, that aggression to the door, Doja has neutralized that a couple times now. I think Draken might not do that for the next 2 rounds of overtime. He's been naded a couple. He's been flashback as well.
See, but I do love this wallbang attempt coming through. I was just telling you about that. When
yes,
I was saying I think that's underutilized. Great grenade, great follow-up from Hobbit. That's both Get Right and Drake can have in their position essentially be guessed at with grenades.
Yep.
And then it cost the death of the one. That's going to be very annoying if you're NiP.
Oh, it's so frustrating as well. Especially because, again, that's one of the mid players. So you can see Exist is over here, and they have Forest in the vents. And because of this, NiP wants to play retake on A. They know they want to keep mid control, so they keep most of their attention there. It's just the AWP, and more than likely Draken is going to get smoked off. That cross isn't going to be available to him to get this pick. There's the smoke pluming, a little bit of a gap, and if he hits that, it would be insanity, unless they do that walk strategy. I'm not sure if he spotted one there, but the A bomb set is lost. Forrest is going to get 1 kill on the boost in mid, and now he's got a flank avenue open to him.
This would be very difficult. There is a Molotov it was just about to be reined in. That would have been interesting on the bomb, but this position for Mo is very hard to stop. You have to peek out quite far, and when the flank is gone from Forest, You gotta wonder. 3 versus 4, though, with 16k. NiP could justify fighting this and just trying their best for the retake here as Exist goes down and Draken too. Rez is in a lot of trouble here. He does have a bit of time. He's gonna get one, and now he's chasing Doja, who's right around the container. He doesn't realize. He thinks he's back there, and Doja up on the container, and Gambit gonna win it with 1 man left alive.
That got a little bit dicey, but you're exactly right. That's the benefit of the 16k is you just go for everything. Why not? Gambit pull one off, and it all comes down. I mean, with how close that round is, it's, you know, those utility early on for Gambit has been great. The nades onto Get Right and forcing him out into the open, the nades onto Draken. This has been a very, I mean, to be frank, this has been a pretty simple T-side from Gambit. It's not like they've been overwhelming anyone. It has been, you know, set up in a default. You know, we have a Dren over towards door, we have Doja sometimes over towards the door, and then you basically just kind of do an A execute, and it's just so effective.
Yeah, and I mean, so I actually, in a lot of ways, I prefer that. Like, if they had been winning a lot of these rounds with, like, incredibly flashy play, to say that might be hard to reproduce, but this T-side you could probably reproduce a lot for Gambit, and that's impressive in its own right. Exist, though, will win the fight against 1 and drops the bomb on Hobbit as well. Looking even better here, Exist with the triple kill. And this is the kind of shutdown round that NiP wished they had had 7 rounds ago. Maybe then they could have been on to the second map already, but it's 16-16 and moving into the last round of the first half of overtime. Yeah,
that one's a little bit discombobulated, just talking about how simple and fundamental this T-side has been for Gambit. They just kind of go out of the smoke one by one. There's a Dren. Hobbit, he's cut off, isolated by the Molotov, and it, you know, just falling...
okay, so just to contrast that round, almost every other time they've been going A, Doja's been opening that squeak door, and then Molotoving Exist position, right?
Yep.
So just as a difference to what that round was like. Also, the wallbang attempt into middle Draken, and did he get tagged from it?
I believe he did.
62 health.
That's not bad. It's quite cool.
I'm doing the math in my head. That means if it was a headshot, it would have killed him.
If. Regardless. Again, I mean, just doing a good job of getting some early damage out. Everything's valuable in this. Hobbit even predicting a res up on the box. Little damage of his own. No real progress from Gambit across the map so far. Still just spread out. Now starting to readjust. The Trends drop down. Here's that mid-pressure. Get Right spots it out. Beautiful flashbang, though, and he gets a kill with the peek. There's Fitch. He comes in a little bit delayed, and Forrest is ready for it. Hobbit, if he can eliminate both these players, that'd be huge, and he's going to fight in the flames, and he's taken out by an op. Down into a 2-on-3.
Molotov in to try and force them into an awkward plant if he can. That actually works out very well. That's a great job with that one Molotov there, just to buy time and also to maybe make them plant in a position they don't really want to.
It's big to delay as well, because you can see there's a boost going on for NiP and mid. Draken's just boosted up to go for the flank, so they bought a little bit of time to let that come to fruition.
Mo is still alive, and he has been playing one hell of a game so far, and there's a headshot taking down Rez. He even reads the potential flank here. Mo is a monster at the moment. 1 versus 2. And if he wins this, he might just have done it for Gambit. Moving forward aggressively, zooming a lot, and they can hear that on the other side. Bomb not ticked far enough. He's already getting shot down from one angle, and Draken will be the one to take the kill. And NiP gonna make it 17-16 here. 2 more rounds is what they need.
Yeah, great patience in that 2-on-1 from NiP, but you like the idea for Mo. You have to do that, because you know you're getting flanked from 2 angles, so you have to kind of decide in that situation, I'm going to get aggressive towards this player, because I know at least that's the 1-on-1. And then we can deal with the next one if it comes to pass. Actually, if he was out jumping, that probably is a headshot.
Yeah.
Kill.
That's mad. Somewhere out there, body is taking notes.
It's back.
I can do it. Actually, funnily enough, that particular wallbang has been on cache for a very, very long time. Like that.
Has it?
Yeah, that's been used, I think, at least for a year.
Cool.
It's just that it's way less consistent than the other one. 16-17, and we are going to head into the second half of overtime here. If you're just joining us, it's still map 1. There's still a lot more to come here, but this has been one hell of a game. The NiP squad finishing 13-2 in the first half, and still they could not close out the game. Gambit made it all the way back, winning something like 11 rounds in a row before they finally dropped one in the second half. And now we're in overtime, and they've already taken out Draken. Forrest getting grenaded. Mo again, he's just a beast. I think he's up to 30 kills now in this game.
Yes, Draken had gone for that duel a couple times in the first half and won it pretty decently, but Mo has really come alive in the second, as you've said. Back to their ways of a Dren pushing in towards A main on the CT side. Saw it frequently in the regulation. Didn't have too much impact on the half, obviously, but It's good to see that much control still coming out. With that pick in the 5-on-4, Gambit doesn't have to do anything too tricky, although they have no eyes on mid. Mo's watching it from the A bomb site, so a mid to B split could be very effective for NiP in this situation.
Oh, but look at Adren. He's moving up very far into A main this time. And you're right, it's something we saw during regulation as well. Could make your life very tricky for NiP if they don't catch it in time. Did he hear the running of Rez here?
I think he did, because Mo and Doja just, there's a lot of movement and adjustment in the defense on that A site.
The fact that they still have grenades left on the B bomb site that they just used there, kind of annoying for NiP when there's only 25 seconds. They are full all committed on this bomb site. More smoke goes down to try and cancel out some of the fire there. 19 seconds. Hobbit is going to be going down, and Fitch hiding in the back. He gets dropped by Rez. And now up on the high ground, Doja. He's already got one kill, but that smoke and actually the headshot from Forest going to be able to take him down. 8 seconds left, and the bomb will be going down. Mo and Adren, 2 versus 3. This is doable, but definitely not easy. They're coming in from either side, and they're out of grenades, so they're just going to have to win some big fights on their own here. Crouching in is Adren, looking at every angle imaginable, but not finding any NiP players right now. And Mo's coming in from the other side, AWP in hand and scoped up close range. This is near impossible at this point in time. Very tricky. Adren, he gets dropped, and Mo gonna decide this is no longer worth it. Tries to make it all the way back, and he's gonna be able to get a parting kill at least. But it will be 18 rounds for NiP. That's map point once again.
Stunning shots from NiP win that round. It's a great execute, obviously. Very deadly, very tough to stop as the defense, the firebombing of the site. You can see even the smoke that was dropped down didn't really help, but just great shots onto Fitch, who was in the back of the site, a great trade there. And then obviously Forrest onto Doja. You could see Doja wanted that peak so badly before that smoke plumed towards the upper portion. And that's really, really good stuff from NiP to get around here. So 18-16, it's map point for NiP in this overtime. This would be phenomenal of them to recover. It'd be a big sigh of relief. Mo is still standing in their way. Taking a shot there, but not going to hit anything. He doesn't have the angle, though. He's going to go back for it. It's a little bit early. That's a re-peek you don't need. The nade comes out towards Draken, but it doesn't bother him whatsoever. Huge advantage for NiP. We've seen Mo get lured into that peak when he's lost the angle a couple times.
It's been a long time coming for NiP. They've been on the edge of winning this map for quite a while, so as you said...
Basically since the first half.
Basically since the first half, and as you said, it would just put a very dark cloud over NiP for the rest of this best of 3 if they can't pull this out. You know, that would put them in a deep hole, so...
In like a certain aspect, if you're Gambit, even if you lose this map, you're like, yeah, in a way, we did get some kind of a... Like, this is one of those, like, small victories, right? Like, victories even in defeat, where you come back from that.
Yeah, certainly, because you're going to play your map next. This is NiP's map pick, so I think you could feel okay about that. It isn't done yet. We can't get ahead of ourselves here as Forrest goes down. That was Hobbit getting the kill. He's picked up the AWP. Existo sneaking into middle is doing a good job right now, getting a lot of control. It'll be very hard for Doja and Adren to hold the bomb site if they can't control Exist in there. 30 seconds left, and they are going to start to move up. Fitch and Hobbit are quite far away. Adren out in the open, and he's going to get taken out by Adren, and, well... Doja next in line going to be dropped, and now it's all falling apart here. Draken with a shot on Hobbit, and Fitch now in a 1 versus 3 to try and see if he can clutch it. He goes down to Draken, keeps on getting the kills. That's just a remarkable first map here. 19-16 in favor of NiP.
And you can see, like, NiP just has like that nervous laughter, like, ha ha ha. Yeah, we did it. That what a comeback from Gambit in that game. It looked like NiP was going to have that sewn up pretty quickly, but they had to battle for it. Great stuff from Mo once again. Phenomenal game from him with the AWP bringing his team back. And like I said, I think this is kind of like one of those victories and defeat moments for them, just because, you know, the comeback ability is just like, they're going to be fine with that. They're going to be laughing it off and be like, hi, I can't believe we were even in that at the end.
Yeah, just, I mean, gotta shake it off, right, and just make sure that that you remind yourself that our game is coming up next, and then...
you can't be having a bad first half like that.
Yeah, that's also true.
You know, like Diego said, it's a game of 2 halves.
It is a game of 2 halves. That's a great insight. I like that. Just very impressive, and overall, I think, I mean, maybe a sign of what's to come. If this goes all 3 maps, it could be a long series for both of these teams. Yeah,
really grueling series, right? Just like a boxing match, just going back and forth the whole time. I mean, that's a pretty crazy way to open it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if they can handle it. I hope you guys can at home. There's more to come between this series. So before we go into the second map, let's take a look at the Sliver walkthrough video.